In the year 1099, the armies of the First Crusade stormed the holy city of Al-Quds, Jerusalem. They massacred its people, desecrated its mosques, and turned its sacred streets into rivers of blood. For nearly 90 years, the city remained under Crusader control. But then, from the lands of the East, rose a leader destined to change history. His name was Salahuddin Al-Ayyubi, and his mission was clear: to reclaim the Holy Land for Islam, justice, and peace. Born in 1137 in Tikrit, Iraq, Salahuddin was raised in a family of warriors and scholars. He studied the Quran, the art of war, and the principles of justice.
Father, is strength the only thing that makes a ruler?
Strength is important, my son, but it is not enough.
What else is needed?
A true leader must have wisdom to guide his people, faith to inspire them, and mercy to temper justice. Without these, strength becomes tyranny.
Wisdom, faith, and mercy.
As a young man, he joined his uncle, Nur ad-Din Zengi, in the struggle to unite the Muslim lands against the Crusaders.
Your skill has grown, Salahuddin. But remember, the sword is only a tool.
A tool for justice.
Indeed. But justice requires more than strength. It requires unity. The Muslim lands are fractured, weakened by infighting.
We must unite them.
Yes, and that will be your task, nephew.
By 1174, Salahuddin had become the Sultan of Egypt and Syria, uniting the once divided Muslim lands. His rule was marked not by tyranny, but by justice, mercy, and discipline.
Al-Quds will be free. It is our destiny. But true victory requires more than conquest. It requires a righteous cause.
However, the Crusaders were strong, and their most powerful leader, King Richard the Lionheart, was preparing for war.
If Salahuddin wishes to challenge us, let him try. We will meet him with steel and fire.
The battle for Al-Quds was coming. On July 4th, 1187, Salahuddin led his forces to the fields of Hattin, where the Crusader army stood waiting. Using masterful strategy, he lured them into the scorching heat, cutting off their water supply. By the time battle began, the Crusaders were weak, thirsty, and surrounded. The Muslim armies struck with precision, destroying the Crusader forces and capturing their leaders.
You brought war to our lands, but I will not slaughter you as your men slaughtered ours. A true warrior shows mercy.
This victory opened the road to Al-Quds. On October 2nd, 1187, Salahuddin's army arrived at the gates of Al-Quds. The city, once the heart of the Muslim world, was now within his reach. Unlike the Crusaders, who had massacred its people, Salahuddin chose another path.
In the name of Sultan Salahuddin, I bring a message of peace. Surrender this city and you will be allowed to leave unharmed. Refuse and face the consequences.
We will not yield. This is our holy city.
Then you have chosen destruction.
Rather than slaughter, he offered the Crusaders a choice: surrender peacefully and leave, or fight and face destruction.
This is a land of prophets. We will not dishonor it with revenge. Open the gates of mercy.
Churches were protected, Christian pilgrims were allowed to stay, and the Jewish population, who had been exiled for nearly a century, was welcomed back. For the first time in decades, Al-Quds was a city of peace once more. But the Crusades did not end. King Richard the Lionheart arrived with an army, determined to retake Al-Quds. For years, he and Salahuddin fought, each proving to be a master warrior and strategist. Yet, even in war, there was respect between them.
Salahuddin is unlike any enemy we have faced. He fights with honor, and he rules with wisdom.
After years of war, the two leaders agreed to a truce. Jerusalem would remain in Muslim hands, but Christian pilgrims would be allowed to visit peacefully. In 1193, Salahuddin, the liberator of Al-Quds, took his final breath. He left behind an empire, a legacy, and a lesson for all time.
My people?
We are here, Sultan.
Al-Quds, is it safe?
It is, Sultan. Your peace endures.
Despite ruling lands stretching from Egypt to Syria, he died with barely enough wealth to afford a burial, because he had spent it all on his people. In today's world where division and hatred still exist, Salahuddin's story reminds us of the power of unity, justice, and mercy. True strength is not in conquest, but in character. The greatest victory is not the defeat of your enemies, but the justice you bring to your people. If this story inspired you, like, share, and subscribe for more legendary tales of Muslim heroes.